Our mission is simply to work with kids and help them to realize their potential for growth and success later on in life. We essentially believe that we can do this through a child learning violin or viola or trombone. I felt that Philadelphia would be a great place to implement a program, just considering its history with music education and with the arts in general, especially classical music. It was just a matter of, can we coordinate all of those great resources we have here in the city, delivering the best teachers, quality instruments, the best performing opportunities and social experiences for these kids on a daily basis, and communities that would not necessarily be able to afford programs that Play on Philly builds. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia, and started playing trumpet when I was 8 years old. I grew up in a very musical family, and both of my parents are music educators. Music was part of just what we did all the time. I very quickly became one of the best trumpet players in the city and one of the best in the state. Then coming to Curtis, it was a completely different experience. Not only was I with other great trumpet players, but I was also among a lot of really great musicians. Going through that and being here in Philadelphia was one thing that just helped me to have a completely different perspective of music and what was possible. El Sistema started in 1975 by Jose Antonio Abreu. Dr. Abreu is a trained professional musician, also an economist and a politician. But the thing that he wanted to do was to make classical music more accessible to Venezuelans. He decided that he was going to put forward a program built around Venezuelans learning and loving classical music, producing the next best citizens in this country. And he pushed for several years to have El Sistema labeled as a social development program first, before being labeled as a music education or an artistic program. What Gustavo Dudamel represents is the flagship of what El Sistema has produced, a long line of musicians that play in major orchestras here in the United States and all over Europe. You know, what's more important than that is really what happens for the millions of kids that have gone through El Sistema. In my last semester at Curtis, a friend forwarded me a video of Dr. Abreu winning the TED Prize in 2009. After watching that video, I applied for a fellowship program at the New England Conservatory, which allowed me to spend 2 months in Venezuela and also 2 months visiting programs all around the United States that were inspired by El Sistema.
He didn't approach me, I approached him. I wanted to know more about his experience in Venezuela and what he thought about the project and how he thought this could work in Philadelphia. And I was very impressed by him. It's been more than I ever imagined it could be. The thing is, you just wish every kid could experience it.
Carole and Stanford, and they knew that they wanted to make this happen here. I can't tell you what it does for the children and for everybody involved. We have approximately 515 children, and they come from 47 different countries. The children have difficult lives, many of them, and the ones who've escaped from their homelands have gone through all kinds of horrible situations to get here, and they and their parents appreciate the education they get in this school. In the 29 years I've been here, 12 young adults who had been in the school during my years have been murdered.
Through Play on Philly, we're hoping for much more than just creating orchestra and choir programs all over the city. We're also looking at making sure that we can construct a program that is a model social development and educational preparedness program. We provide a tuition-free program. Families have to make somewhere between a $25 to $125 commitment for the year. The students pick the instrument that they want to play. Sometimes we will guide them. We try to keep a balance in the orchestra that would resemble what you would traditionally see.
Okay, put down 5 instruments in the order of which ones you would like to play. I put down violin, viola, cello, clarinet, flute, in that order, and I got viola. So I was kind of mad at first, but it took maybe like a week and a half, maybe a little bit more, but I slowly came to realize, wow, this is such an amazing instrument.
I think we can get even more, even more, even more, even more.
The commitment for each student is really intense. The 3 hours that they spend each weekday after school during the school year consist of a group lesson, some type of musical theory class, and ensemble rehearsals. The pace is pretty quick.
They say it's hard work. They say that they're tired, but they also say that they love it and that they love their teachers and they love being a part of something.
There are many partners that we work with, the Philadelphia Orchestra, with the Curtis Institute of Music, with Philadelphia Sinfonia, for our kids to see other students that, for example, with Curtis or with Philadelphia Sinfonia, that aren't much older than them, but are really, really fine musicians. Then we have other individuals like Sir Simon Rattle, who is the music director of the Berlin Philharmonic, Wynton Marsalis, my old hero, Bobby McFerrin, and other world-class conductors like Marin Alsop and Rawson Milanoff, chamber ensemble groups like Time for Three, or Imani Winds, or the Parker Quartet, or the Borromeo Quartet, that spend some very quality time with our kids.
I was just curious about his program and asked if I could go see St. Francis in action. The thing that I'll never forget about what I saw was that the kids loved their instruments like they were people.
We'll see things after concerts where families will pose with the instrument, like the instrument is part of the family now, that instrument is part of that kid's identity.
It's evolved from just playing because people have told me to and playing because I want to. You realize that you're more than just what you think you are, and you're capable of more than you think you can do. And plus, you're part of something bigger than just yourself.
I can go anywhere. I can pick up my viola, I can start playing something. Someone will join in, someone will talk to me, and even if we don't understand each other, what we communicate through the music, it's alive and it'll stay with us for the rest of our lives.
I was sitting in the audience and the kids had only had their instruments all of 10 weeks or something. But what I saw was parents crying, family members weeping.
And it seems to me that music touches the soul. To see these kids skipping down the hall, or coming in the morning with their violin case or their cello or something, there's a spirit about them that's wonderful.
Our goal is to add more schools in the future. It's a lot of work, it's a lot of big goals, but can't help but to think that there are a lot of children and a lot of schools that are waiting for programs like this.
What makes Stanford good at this is that he really cares about the kids.
I love classical music. I want to share that with these kids.